Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date reference 118238. You can see this automatic winding 18-karat yellow gold day-date and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen to see our full listing for this watch with additional high-resolution images, accessories included, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this is the classical 36mm Rolex Day-Date. It's been a 36 since its debut in late 1955. Now Rolex officially considers 1956 to be the birth year of the Day-Date, so 2016 becomes the 50th anniversary for this legendary model, at least officially. Now 36mm across the round of the case, it wears a bit bigger because the Oyster case is more cushion shaped than round, and because of the solid end links of the Rolex President bracelet, the watch is the Day-Date, the bracelet is the President. You could see that it actually spans a relatively impressive 48mm from lug to lug, that being defined by the outermost rigid outcropping, the solid end links of the bracelet, rather than the lugs themselves, which only span 44.5mm. But if you really want to know the rigid horizontal measurement across the wrist, you have to count the solid end links, and this becomes a 48. Now it is very hefty on the wrist. Modern Rolex bracelets, especially in precious metal, with solid links, solid end links, and milled out clasps, are incredibly imposing, both visually and in terms of the mass on the wrist. Beautifully finished inside with a high polish. This is the President bracelet we've known since 1956. 3-link, it's sort of between the Jubilee and its delicate 5-link design and the somewhat ungainly but very robust 3-link design of the Oysters. So it's more substantial than the Jubilee, and as a result, it gives the artisans a little bit more of a canvas to play with. You can see use of polish on the flanks, satin on the shoulders, and high polish down the center, and it registers with a little bit more impact than it does on the smaller individual links of the Jubilee. It is very hefty, but again, because the links are smaller than the Oyster, it's silky on the wrist. It easily folds around the tight curve of a smaller wrist like mine. You'll also note the beautifully polished and milled out clasp. It is incredibly solid, and as is the tradition of the President bracelet, when closed you see only the partition point demarcated by the 5-point Rolex coronet. Now here, in the modern milled out clasp, it's actually hinged. You can see it's articulated. It's not simply a pull point. It isn't simply a lever. It's actually a switch that opens up the clasp. Now, the thing about the contemporary Rolex milled-out bracelets, clasps, all solid links, is that a gold watch, like this very traditional 18-karat yellow gold Day-Date, winds up feeling about as hefty as a platinum Day-Date of previous generations. But moving inboard, you see all of the refinements for which the Day-Date, and in particular, the 118238 generation, are known. Now, the transition to the 6-digit series back in about 2000 included the polished lug hoods. Now you can see the hoods are polished here, not satin finished. That's one of the easiest ways to tell the watch at a glance from the 18238, which had satin finished hoods. Here you can see the smooth and beautiful consonance of the polished hoods with the polished flanks. It's a more gradual, more seamless transition, and you still have that contrasting finish with the solid end link, so you still have the visual articulation, but the case flanks themselves are just a bit more coherent. Now you can see the beautifully faceted 18-karat yellow gold bezel, and this watch is very clever in that it avoids a monotonous appearance while being thoroughly monotone. The sunburst dial, some might call it gold, some might call it champagne, has a gorgeous radial grain to it, all applied and polished 18-karat yellow gold stylized Roman numerals, matching 18-karat hands at center. And rather than making any pretense of being a sports watch, this one has no lume, so it optimizes the contrast against the dial with black stripes down the center of those baton-style hands. You'll also note a delicate railroad minute track outboard of the hours, and more clever styling features adjacent to the brushed sunburst style day window and day disc at 12 o'clock, double single Roman numeral 1s rather than attempting to crowd in the 11 and the 12 for beautiful symmetry flanking that window right there. And of course you have the date beneath the Cyclops eye. Now what's nice about the 18238s and the 11823/8 is that we're solidly into the era of what's called the double quick set. So you can rapidly, when you pull the crown out to its secondary position, you can rapidly correct the date, and then by turning in the opposite direction, you can correct the day. So very convenient. No need to do cartwheels around the dial to correct the watch. Now, beneath that beautiful sunburst dial, there is a Rolex caliber 3155, 31 joules automatic winding, approximately 45 to 48 hour power reserve. Of course, it has the double quick set. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It does feature Rolex's handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring for resistance to positionally induced timing variation, and it features a full balance bridge, free sprung in architecture for resistance to shock-induced timing variations. And while this may not be a sports watch in the traditional sense, as it lacks luminescence, it nevertheless does retain a screw-down crown to endow it with 100-meter water resistance. So while this watch is well suited to dinner, it's also suited to the pool party before. This is a handsome and versatile reference, and because its size at 36 millimeters is very traditional, it wears its yellow gold well. Not ostentatious, this is a quietly confident, traditional, and handsome reference from one of the most important families, from one of the most important watchmakers in history. You can see this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date, reference 118238 double quick set, and purchase it on our website.